Right, I'm back with episode 8 of my summer series, and this week I'm making a lovely summer salad that's just full of textures and flavors. And we're starting off with a base of baba ganoush, also known as aubergine caviar. If you've never had this before, it might change your life. It's so delicious. It's a smoky aubergine dip, and you make it by starting off with aubergine or eggplant, which you're going to burn the skin of. And you can do this on an open flame or on a barbecue, or even wrapping it in foil in the oven for a very long time. And then once it's all burnt, you leave it covered until it's cooled down, and then that lets you easily peel off the skin. It should come off quite easily if it's well burnt, and you don't really have to be very precise with this. Just take off as much as you can, and then you're left with these lovely soft sweet smoky aubergines, which you're going to mix with a bit of cumin, some tahini, some raw garlic, some salt, some pepper, and lots of evu until you get a lovely smooth smoky dip. And that's our first step, base of our salad. Then I'm going to roast some peppers to go in the fattoush style salad. So I'm not roasting them too much because I still want them to have a bit of crunch, but I'm basically going to wrap them in some foil with some olive oil or sunflower oil, a bit of salt, wrap them up tightly and put them in a hot oven at 200 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then take them out and just leave them to cool down. They'll have taken on a bit of colour, but not too much. At this point, peel off as much of the skin as you can, because I wanted them to still have some bite to them. The skin's not burnt enough that it all comes off, so just take off as much as is willing to, basically. So a fattoush salad traditionally has pita bread croutons through it, and I've inspired myself by that. So I'm using some wholemeal pittas and just tearing them up roughly onto a baking tray. So tearing them into a single layer and then just bite-sized chunks, adding a raw garlic clove, some salt, some extra virgin olive oil, and just tossing that through so all the little croutons are coated in oil. Then lay them out flat and bake them in 200-degree oven until they are cooked through and nice and crispy. Then for the rest of the fattoush style salad, I'm going for some cucumber. I'm going for quite a big dice because I think it works quite nicely for the texture of the salad. So just cut it into thick kind of 2cm strips or 1-inch strips, and then into 1-inch cubes. Then I'm using some shallots because I had them, but you could use half a red onion instead here. Just going to peel off the skin as you would, and then I'm going to dice these up as thinly as I can, taking my time. Then I want to take some of the sharpness off of those red onion or shallots, so I'm just going to let them marinate for a bit in my salad bowl with lemon juice and salt. In the meantime, I'm going to wash my salad leaves in some cold water. I'm using romaine lettuce here, and I'm going to slice it very thinly. This will give it a nice texture amongst all the other bits of the salad, but it will also mean that I can latch on to more of that delicious baba ganoush. Then finally, all of my herbs, I'm going to thinly slice some dill, mint, and parsley, but you could use any different kind of herbs that you have on hand. Some coriander would be nice as well, and just roughly chop that all up with a back and forth motion of the knife. Then back to our peppers. We're going to chop those up into cubes roughly the same size as the cucumber, about 1 inch. You know, when you peeled the peppers, some of the juices from the peppers will have run off. Don't waste that, put it in the salad. It's got lots of flavor. Then finally, we're adding all our ingredients back with the red onions in the bowl and just tossing all of that through. And our vinaigrette is basically the lemon juice, the salt in the shallots, and all of those pepper juices. You can add a bit more olive oil if you want, but I didn't think it needed it. Then finally onto our halloumi. Now I much prefer to tear chunks of halloumi rather than slicing it. I find you then get a much nicer texture and you don't get that annoying slice where it's half cut off. So I think this works really well to make kind of little halloumi croutons. So tear it up into little chunks and then cook them in a dry pan on high heat until they're lovely and all over and you can feel that they're nice and squidgy. At that point, just finish them off with a little drizzle of honey, let that melt all over the halloumi, and then we're ready to plate up. We're going in with a base of the baba ganoush all over, which is also going to serve as a dressing for our salad. Then top it off with our fattoush salad with all those lovely crunchy croutons, lovely vegetables and all those fresh herbs, and then finish it off with those grilled halloumi croutons. And that's it, a delicious summer salad that's full of flavour. I dare you to say this is boring. Give it a try.